decision to switch quarterbacks midstream in the middle of the season? Probably a tough choice, but what goes into it? Just a feel? How do you decide that?
Yeah, I guess just a feel more than anything. But the other night it was going to be an ugly game, or what I call, just everything about the weather was kind of nasty. It was just kind of the style of game we were going to have to play to win, and thought that's what gave us the best chance to win the game, was to kind of play kind of that style of game. And so that's what we went with. And like I said, especially when you need to run him around, like Garrett's pretty good at that. And he made a lot of plays for us and gave us our best chance to win at the time, we felt like.
What has Garrett's development been like, even just since you've been with him?
Yeah, he's done a good job. He's Garrett's super talented, and so can really spin it. He's athletic, which adds an extra dimension to the to an offense, and so that's fun. And I think all those quarterbacks, the key is just to continue to get better, and that's kind of what I've tried to preach to them since I've been here. I try to make it as easy as possible or simple as possible on them, and eliminate thinking. Just try to make it instincts. Eliminate thinking as much as you can, and Garrett does a good job of that. He just playing fast and going out there and not hesitating. That's kind of his personality anyway. And so I think he's gotten better and better. The more reps you get in anything, I don't really think it matters who it is. The more reps you can get in it, the more comfortable you feel. And so I think with the reps, he's gotten more and more comfortable. And he, like I said, did a great job for us the other night.
How would you evaluate JT's play this season? You've known him for a long time, even before here, and started off kind of stronger than it's been the last few weeks. What do you think maybe he's changed in his play, or just continuing on?
No, I think JT, like you said, he gave us a chance to win a lot of football games, and so he's done a good job for us. And having him has been huge. The way he approaches the game, the way he does things, the way he prepares, helps the whole team. And I think that other guys see that. He gets other guys in there with him. So I think that's he's done a great job of that, and from that, he's really helped the team grow from that perspective, especially, I guess, offensively, probably more than anything, because he gets other offensive guys in there and watches tape with them, force them to be in here, force them to, prepare the right way. And so because of that, he's done like I said, he's really helped us offensively and done a lot of good things. And he's like I said, especially early, was playing at a really high level. And expect him, like I said, he'll just continue to get better and better as well, like the rest of them.
Have you ever had a quarterback where you call in a...
What's that?
Go ahead, Kevin.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, have you ever had a quarterback where you call a pass play and he can take off and run for a touchdown?
Maybe Mason Fine. Yeah, he could run around and make some plays. He was a tough one. Mason was a great player, and I was fortunate to have him.
How did you go about that with him? Was it kind of open-ended with you in terms of how you prepared with him as your quarterback?
Yeah. Mason did what you coached him to do pretty well. He was, like I said, he was a special one, and just when he got in trouble, he had the ability to go make you right, which was fun. He's a really good player. And Jackson run around a little bit too at SC last year, off and on. He was a true freshman, so his was a little more rogue than Mason's was at the time. Garrett's kind of probably a cross between there. Sometimes he goes rogue, but he does have a little bit of experience, and so he, it's not a true freshman out there just running around. He's has a lot of reps in what we've done, knows what we're trying to do, and like I said, every now and then, I think with all athletic quarterbacks, every now and then they just, I don't know if you'd say go rogue, but just trust their athleticism and try to go make a play for you sometimes when you don't want them to. But that's, like I said, that's at times they're going to take a bad sack or something, because they, I think the more athletic you are, the more you think you can get out of. And you never think the play's dead, where if you're less athletic, sometimes the play's over and you just got to get rid of it, And so it can be a blessing and a curse, I guess, but it can help you make some plays. I think I think his first drive, third down, where he ran around and converted to third and medium or third and long, like stuff like that can be really helpful.
Graham, are there other comps between Mason and Garrett? And the size is similar, but I think Jordan once said that was like the toughest kid he'd ever played. People kind of compliment Garrett's stuff as just you have a unique perspective no one else has, I guess.
Yeah, Mason was a special player, and like I said, I love that kid, and he was kind of my first quarterback I ever had, so I'm probably biased. But they are similar size. Mason had a huge arm, and a lot of times you don't see little guys with huge arms, but Mason had a huge arm, and Garrett has a pretty big arm. You know what I mean? And there are some athleticism comparisons too. So I guess you compare them, from physical traits. You would they're very comparable. About the same size, similar in athleticism, and both have can really spin the football. Like if you watch just the ball jump out of people's hands. Those two, it jumps out of their hand probably as well as most quarterbacks I've been around. So both have really big arms, especially to be smaller guys. And so physically, I think they're very, very similar, personality-wise and that kind of thing. Their mental makeup's very different, but physically, the traits are very similar. Well, Garrett's like a little puppy, and Mason's kind of, he's like jumping all over the place and hyper, where Mason's much more calm and just you don't even know he's in the room half the time because he's pretty quiet. But so personality-wise, they're kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum, but physical ability-wise, they're pretty similar.
Garrett said Saturday that he kind of needs to feel that emotion to play his best. Do you try to tamper that down at all, or do you let him kind of do what he feels he needs to do?
I think he. I don't. Like I said, I think he's fine. I think we're all kind of wired different, and there's nothing wrong with some emotion and getting excited and stuff like that. But to me, I think the most important thing is just to be yourself. Whatever. You can't go out there and try to be someone else, someone that you're not. And so, if you're naturally wired that way, then go be excited. You know what I mean? And some people are wired more that way, and some people aren't. And I think that at times it helps you to be wired a little more tight, and at times it helps you to be much more stoic. But like I said, I think you're only going to be your best if you're being yourself, and so I think that's key. I don't really think that's the quarterback position. I think that's any position. You know what I mean? Like you can't go try to emulate someone else, and I think that's true in the coaching world as well. I think like a lot of people see Bill Belichick and say, well, I need to be Coach Belichick. Well, there's only one Coach Belichick. You need to go be yourself. And I think that gives you the best chance to be successful. And I think playing football is no different. You got to go play your style of football. You got to go be yourself. And if you do, you give yourself the best chance to be successful.
You said you won't name a starting quarterback. Is it a challenge to get two guys, prepared to play with the first team?
I think you always are preparing two guys. Like, a lot of times you give one guy much more heavy reps, but you're always trying to prepare two guys, and because injuries and stuff like that, especially that position, you got to have two guys that are ready to play. And so, if you're trying to prepare them any more than the two, I think your reps run out, But with two guys, like I said, you're always every week you're getting two guys reps, trying to get them both comfortable with the game plan, both comfortable with what you're going to do. And go execute. And so I don't think that'll be much different.
Because you got one guy that can run, that means they have to spend more time preparing for a running quarterback. They have to devote that to practice. So that benefits you in that regard anyway.
I can't control how they spend their time, but
You got a running quarterback, that means all 11 defenders are accounted for.
yeah,
So
that's the way that works. Get you the extra hat. That definitely helps.
yeah.
So, I don't know. Like I said, the defenses. Sometimes I don't know what like even in practice. Like, man, you put this in today, like in spring ball. I didn't put anything in today. What are you talking about? Like, we lined up into the boundary. I'm like, well, I didn't even think about that. So, sometimes they see things differently.
Attack that defense and not really mess.
Yeah, and it messes with them. So, how they spend their time, I hope it makes them spend crazy time everywhere. You know what I mean? But like I said, I can't really control that or worry about it. But if it gives them an issue, that's a benefit for us.
I know you have a little bit of an idea of when a backup quarterback might go in for their first series, but in game when it becomes, hey, we're going to make a switch or we're going to go back to someone else, whatever. Who makes that decision right now?
Like who's playing?
Yes.
It's just a conversation we have as a staff on the headsets, and we roll with what we go with. So we had we knew that we're gonna put Garrett in just to give him a drive, like the one we got him, whatever drive that was the other night. Third or fourth drive, I think we threw him in there. We knew we were going to do that. Had a little plan to get him going. We got stopped on that one, but then got him back in there later, and like I said, he right there before half, we went and scored, and then like I said, kind of made the decision like if we're gonna win this, it's gonna be a different style of football. That's gonna give us our best chance to win, and that's what we got to go with from here out.
If there's a difference of opinion, who's the tiebreaker? Who's the final call?
The head coach gets the final call on everything. That's if not, you're in trouble. But yeah.
Development of Nico, how has he come along this fall? You talked about him a lot in the spring.
Yeah, he gets I mean here I think that Coach Brown, the schedule he's put together, gives those young guys I've never been anywhere where you develop or where younger guys have gotten as many reps as here. Every practice, whether Sunday night, Tuesday after practice, Wednesday after practice, Thursday after practice, we set time aside to get guys reps that didn't get reps that week in the game. And it might be, sometimes it might be the second offensive line if they didn't get a ton of reps or whatever. But there's time set aside, like I said, 4 times a week to get guys that didn't get reps in the game reps. And so because of that, Nico's gotten a ton of reps this fall. And just continues to improve. And I think that, like I said about all those guys, the more reps you get, the more comfortable you feel, and the better you can execute. And you've really seen that this fall, especially from an execution standpoint, not just from him, but really from all those young guys. Because you're getting, especially when we go team twice a week, 7-on-7 twice a week with the young guys, and the offensive line. Early on, sometimes it's hard to develop the quarterback because you got guys that are on scout team all week, and then you throw them over there and you tell them your calls. They don't even hardly know what's going on. But like I said, I think you've seen on both sides of the ball, really. But I can speak more for the offense side of the ball. Like the entire unit, that young group has grown a ton because now it's not just free runners or anything like that. You're blocking it up pretty well. Guys know what to do. It doesn't mean you win every rep, but you got a hat for a hat. And then Nico, like I said, you can see him processing things better, a lot less thinking, balls jumping out of his hand. I think that the more confident you are, like especially as a quarterback, sometimes if you're not real confident, the ball doesn't jump out. Then the more and more confidence you get, you throw that ball with confidence a little bit more, and it jumps out of your hand. And you've seen that from Nico as the fall's gone on, and so that's been really good to see. And he's developed a ton. Like I said, he gets better every single practice, it feels like, and he gets 1 million reps all week. And so his future's really, really bright.
Are there any concerns about Justin Johnson? A couple of fumbles. What do you kind of say to him after a game like that, and to make sure he's not, that doesn't become a problem?
We harp on ball security here. It's something we do every single day. We do more ball security than anywhere I've ever been here. Like I said, every single practice we have coach calls it a program period where it's a ball security for offense, it's turnover circuits for defense. So that's something we work on every day. But if a guy has a couple fumbles, I don't try to bring it. I try not to let him think about it too much. After it happens, you have to address it, figure out why it happened. I think you can kind of do that in position meetings, but it's not something that you sit there and harp on. I don't think, because then it's in their head, and I think you see it pop out a lot more often. If it's something you talk to one guy about over and over, like you can't fumble, well, that's always in their head, and all of a sudden it feels like they fumble more often. And so, like I said, we do drills. Coach Scott does an unbelievable job. He creates drills. He sees situations on film where guys fumble, whether it be our guys or other people, and tries to create a drill that can kind of simulate that movement that created the fumble. And he does that in practice. And so our ball security drills, I think, are really, really good. We work on it more than anyone. And then, like I said, if the ball pops out, obviously we address it. In position meetings in particular, we look at why it happened. And then, like I said, I don't try to make it a deal with them all the time, because then if you say don't jump in you tell your kid don't jump in the lake, he's probably going to jump in the lake. Same thing with fumbling. Don't fumble. Well, now all of a sudden, all you've put in his head is fumbles, and the ball seems to pop out for whatever reason. And so, again, it's not something I try just to let them address it in position meetings, see why it happened, address the issue, work on it every day in practice, but don't harp on it.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach.
Yep.